A family is vacationing on their yacht in the middle of the Caribbean Sea. The mother, Julia, jumps into the water for a swim. While relaxing, she feels something strange. But since she can't see anything around, she thinks it might be her imagination. A few seconds later, she feels the same strange sensation again. This time too, nothing is visible. But now she gets scared and starts swimming back towards the yacht. Suddenly, something starts pulling her leg, and she begins screaming loudly for help. Her daughter, Cassie, is listening to music with headphones on, so she can't hear anything. Her husband, Tom, and son, Ben, are busy fishing. Julia tries to stay afloat, but water gets into her mouth, making it difficult to scream. A little while later, Tom realizes he hasn't seen Julia for a long time. He looks for her on the yacht and then spots his wife in danger. He calls the children, steers the yacht in her direction, and jumps into the water. He quickly reaches Julia, grabs her, and swims back to the yacht. The children pull them both up. The family tends to Julia, but she rationalizes that it probably happened because of the waves. That night, they all celebrate Ben's birthday. Cassie gets a call from her boyfriend, so she takes her laptop and goes outside. On the video call, her boyfriend shows that large, dark clouds have covered the city. The call glitches and freezes. Cassie comes to tell the family, but Tom says that the signal is probably weak because they are far from land. Just then, they all hear a sound. They go outside and see a group of whales passing by. Tom explains that whales always follow the Earth's magnetic field, but when a storm comes, they get confused. Suddenly, the yacht shakes violently, and Ben falls. Tom worries that the yacht might be damaged, so he dives down to check. After a while, he surfaces, but he has a large wound on his shoulder. Julia immediately stitches his wound. Tom says that underwater, he felt like a very large creature was behind him, but when he turned around, he got cut by the propeller. He says that whatever it was huge. Tom sees significant damage to the yacht, so they need to call for help. Julia repeatedly tries the radio. Cassie looks for a signal on her phone, but nothing works. Just then, Cassie sees a strange creature and screams. But it turns out to be Ben, who was playing a joke by wearing a mask. A little later, the yacht shuts down completely and gets stuck in the middle of the sea. Julia hears a voice on the radio, but it's so distorted she can't understand it. Tom tells the family they only have 4 days of food and water left and now they must wait for a fishing boat. Suddenly, something is detected on the radar, and the family hears a strange sound. They all run outside and are amazed to see numerous meteors falling to the ground. Wherever the meteors hit, large explosions occur. A meteor falls into the water near them, so Tom immediately tries to start the yacht. The engine starts with difficulty, but just then, another meteor hits the area. The family, terrified, holds each other tightly. It is then that Tom realizes that the fireballs falling are not meteors but satellites. At that moment, Ben sees smoke coming from the yacht. Tom checks and confirms that the engine is damaged. The wind starts picking up, so the family hides inside the yacht, without noticing that the compass is spinning wildly. The yacht begins shaking violently. Ben falls again and this time gets hurt. Waves are crashing hard against the yacht. Tom struggles to go outside and brings back life jackets. Just then, the power goes out. Tom immediately presses the power box button, and the lights come back on. At that moment, Ben notices blood flowing from Julia's nose. Julia starts feeling dizzy, while Cassie goes to the sink and vomits. Tom keeps trying the radio but gets no signal. Suddenly, a loud, high-pitched noise is heard, and the wind becomes even stronger. Julia tries to close the doors, but a hatch opens, and the wind starts breaking the windows. Tom lights a flare, and a little later, darkness falls. The next morning, the family wakes up shocked to have survived the storm, but the yacht is half destroyed. When they go outside, they see that the sea water has disappeared and the yacht is now stuck on land. Everyone is shocked to see this. Cassie checks for a signal, but the network is completely down. Ben starts playing with 2 dead crabs. Tom checks the compass and sees that it has reversed. He says this last happened 700,000 years ago. Cassie thinks her boyfriend must be dead and breaks down. When Julia goes to comfort her, Cassie pushes her away and goes to hide. Julia and Tom check the remaining supplies. Ben ties his birthday balloons to a rock so that maybe any surviving survivors will see them. Tom tries the radio again, and this time he connects with a man. His name is Nave, and he is the captain of a submarine. His submarine is also stuck on land. He confirms that the magnetic poles have reversed, causing the ocean to recede and the land to be submerged. He says he hasn't seen any other survivors yet and that communication systems are completely down. He also mentions that the poles will reverse again, and the sea will probably return within a week. He warns the family to climb to as high a place as possible because when the water returns, it will be very dangerous. He says his partner died in the crash and there is only room for 3 people in the submarine. Julia and Tom plead with him, "Please save our children." He gives them his coordinates. Tom calculates that it will take 2 to 3 days to reach the submarine. He tells the family to rest well tonight, they will leave tomorrow morning. The next morning, the family is packing their belongings when Tom sees something moving nearby. It's a limping man with a harpoon in his hand, and a dog is barking constantly beside him. Tom goes to him and gives him a water bottle, but the man speaks in a language that Tom doesn't understand. After drinking the water, the stranger suddenly hits Tom on the head with the bottle and kicks him hard in the face. Julia runs away in fear, but it's too late. The man has already stabbed Tom in the stomach with the harpoon. Tom writhes in pain for a few moments, and then the man cuts his throat too. Then the man chases after Julia and throws the harpoon at her, injuring her shoulder. Julia, in pain, runs inside the yacht and tells the children to hide. She locks the door. Cassie and Ben hide inside the sofa. Julia hands them a flare gun and hides in the bathroom with a knife. The man bangs on the door forcefully and eventually gets in. First, he picks up some food, then starts searching around the yacht. Then he heads towards the bathroom. But Julia smartly escapes through a small hole. The man thinks Julia has escaped, but as she tries to sneak out quietly, his dog sees her and starts barking. The dog lunges at her, so Julia kills it with the knife. Hearing the dog scream, the man comes out and, seeing his dog's corpse, becomes furious. Meanwhile, Julia tries to get inside the yacht from the other side. She climbs up and starts entering through a broken window, but the man gets there first. He grabs her and punches her hard, causing her to fall down. Julia tries to hold onto furniture to save herself, but the man kicks her away. Then he steps on her wrist so she drops the knife, grabs her hair, smashes her face into the ground, throws her onto the sofa, and starts choking her. The children are watching all this. Cassie comes out and shoots the flare gun, which hits the man directly. He catches fire, and a fire starts spreading on the yacht. The children immediately run away, but Julia comes back. She kicks him, knocking him down, picks up the map and bag, and runs away from there. Ben and Cassie go to their father and start crying. Julia also sits with them, and the 3 say a final goodbye to Tom with tears. Just then, the scary man emerges from the yacht again, so the family starts running again. Shortly after, the yacht explodes with a big blast. After walking a short distance, they stop near a small waterfall to rest a little. Cassie thinks that maybe the madman came because he saw their balloons. Hearing this, Ben starts blaming himself. Julia explains that it wasn't his fault and tells everyone to move on because the man is still after them. On the way, near a small pond, Ben is amazed to see a dead hammerhead shark. Just then, Julia notices that the man is getting close to them again. Everyone starts running and falls down a sand dune, where they see toxic waste. The family carefully crosses it and it seems they have shaken off the man. As they walk, they start seeing large dead sea animals and all the plastic accumulated under the sea. Ben starts walking slowly, so Julia realizes he is close to dehydration. She tells everyone to stop. When she checks the water bottle, she is shocked. The water in the bottle is almost finished. Cassie realizes that she probably didn't close the bottle properly. Julia shouts angrily that her carelessness caused the water to run out. Cassie replies, "What does it matter? We're not going to survive anyway." A long argument ensues between them. Still, the family continues walking. After a while, they find a crashed plane. They get scared seeing something moving inside, but it's just some birds. The family decides to spend the night inside the plane. They share a little snack, and Julia finds a family photo in Tom's jacket. Seeing it breaks her heart. Cassie asks, "Mom, what was your and Dad's love story?" Julia smiles and tells her, "Tom was my patient in the hospital. Then one day, he expressed his love by giving me flowers and a sweet poem." In the middle of the night, Cassie goes outside the plane. Just then, the scary man tries to grab her from behind, but Julia suddenly attacks him from behind and stabs him repeatedly, killing him. Cassie hugs her mother to calm her down. The next morning, the man's corpse is covered in bugs. The family notices that his body has many bite marks, meaning a dangerous creature is hiding in this area. As they leave, crabs emerge from his mouth. A few hours later, Julia and Cassie are looking at the map, but Ben quietly walks ahead. Julia shouts, "Stop," but Ben leans into a pond and starts drinking water. Julia immediately pulls him out and explains that unknown water can make him sick. The sun gets very strong, so the family covers their heads with clothes. Ben starts feeling dizzy. Just then, they find some old chairs, and Julia and Cassie build a temporary shelter with them. Julia gives Ben an injection and decides they will spend the night there. In the morning, Julia wakes up to a strange sound. She goes outside to look and sees a large swarm of crabs coming towards them. She immediately picks up the children, and the three start running. While running, they see a large cargo ship. 3 crew members are alive there. A woman wants to help them, but the other 2 men refuse, and the 3 lock the family out and secure the container. The crabs get close. Julia helps the children climb on top of the container. As she tries to climb herself, the crabs bite her leg hard. The children pull her up, or she would have fallen. Half the crabs enter inside through a hole in the container. The crew members start firing, but the crabs overpower them and kill both. The last man reaches a hole in the roof, but the crabs pull him down too, and he also dies. Julia bandages her wound and faints. A while later, when she wakes up, she finds herself alone in the middle of a sandstorm. She panics and starts looking for the children. She picks up a dead woman's weapon and screams loudly. Cassie, hearing her voice, returns and says that she and Ben had gone to look for help but found no one. Then they meet Ben, who found an open container where they can stay until the storm is over. Julia takes out Tom's lighter and cauterizes her wound, which is extremely painful. After the storm subsides, they find another container with many water bottles. While checking the bodies, they also find a radio and a gun. Julia contacts the boat and says the map is lost. Upon hearing this, Nave says that they were attacked by arthropods. He says they are now the dominant life forms, driven completely mad by the oxygen. Nave now tells the family to hurry because his instruments have calculated that the sea will return much sooner than expected, and they only have a few hours left. He shoots a flare, and the family starts walking in that direction. After a long walk, the family finds a broken toilet, and Ben urinates in it. They finally see the submarine nearby, but to reach it, they have to cross a large rocky path. As they pass through the path, the walls start shaking and rocks start falling, causing a terrible rock slide. Julia immediately pushes her children to the side and steps back herself to avoid being crushed. Now a wall of rocks stands between them. Julia tells the children to go on without her, but Cassie refuses and insists that her mother should try to climb. After much arguing and shouting, Julia promises she will find her children later. Reluctantly, Cassie pulls her brother and moves forward. The children climb the rocky path and run towards the submarine, but upon reaching there, they find Nave lying outside, covered in blood. He explains that it's over for him and that the children can take the submarine, thinking there will be one extra spot. Cassie runs back to find her mother. Just then, Julia sees the crabs coming and starts firing. She kills some crabs, but the swarm is too large, and it becomes difficult to fight them all. At that moment, Cassie appears on top of the wall and reaches out her hand. Julia, despite her injured leg, starts climbing quickly. With Cassie's help, she reaches the other side, and both run together towards the submarine. Ben is already standing on top and opens fire to distract the crabs until the family can climb up. The crabs, upon reaching the boat's hull, immediately start eating it. Julia picks up the gun and continues firing until the children get inside. When they are safe, Julia realizes the bullets are finished, so she throws the gun at the crabs and goes inside with her children. The family locks the hatch properly and sees the crabs all around the submarine through the window. At that moment, the sea returns. The 3 immediately sit in their seats, fasten their seat belts, and hold each other's hands. Powerful waves start throwing the submarine around violently. This causes Julia to have visions of the entire journey, and Cassie vomits. Soon, the high-pitched sound returns, and the family faints. A while later, Julia and the children regain consciousness and are happy to find themselves alive. They unlock the hatch and come out, seeing that the waves have dumped the submarine in a devastated city. This means there is hope for survival and starting a new life, and the film ends here.